Hi there, come back again with another Blu-ray DVD update. It's been a little while since my last one. I got quite a few pretty cool titles here, so it's not a huge haul or anything, but it's definitely a good chunk of movies. First things first, as usual, I got three quick little DVDs here that I picked up pretty cheaply. I got them all for $1, so, and this one I had seen. It is directed by Sean Penn, starring Jack Nicholson. It's called The Pledge. It also has Helen Mirren, Robin Wright Penn, Vanessa Redgrave, and Sam Shepard. And this is a very good movie. It is, like I said, directed by Sean Penn. I believe he directed this after the previous movie he directed and Jack Nicholson starred in, called The Crossing Guard, which is also really good. This one here is a really good movie, and it's about this aging detective who's at the very end of his life as a police officer, and he's right before he's about to retire. There's a murder that is extremely similar to some cases that he had back in the day, and he kind of gets he makes a pledge to the parents of the dead deceased person that sorry sorry, I should have cleared my throat before. But anyways, so yeah, he makes a pledge to the parents, and he ends up in his retirement becoming kind of obsessed with this, and it becomes more of a mental examination. This movie, it's a really good movie. I liked it. It's actually it's just a little over 2 hours, but it really goes by pretty good, and I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. If you get the chance, check out The Pledge. So yeah, put that over here. So I picked up two Stallone movies here on DVD that one I've heard of and I haven't seen, and the other one I've never heard of. So that's very cool. I'm a big fan of Stallone, trying to get most of his movies, all the good ones that I enjoy. First things first, let's Get Carter, a remake from the Michael Caine. As you can see, Michael Caine is in this movie. I don't know much about this movie. I haven't watched it yet. Jack Carter, what he does for a living, he'll explain. Financial advisor, pay what you owe. So, I imagine he collects on debts for people. So, I've never seen it. I definitely want to get to it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. So that's very cool. That's Get Carter. And I also picked up Avenging Angelo with Stallone and Madeline Stowe. So I've never heard of this movie. Her life is his job. I believe it is another sort of Frankie Delano, a tough-as-nails bodyguard, vows to protect beautiful Jennifer Barrett after her father, mafia kingpin Angelo Anthony Quinn, is gunned down in cold blood. So yeah, again, I don't know anything about this movie. Get Carter came out 2000, so that came out in 2000. This one here came out in 2002. So I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention to Stallone at that part of his career. I just never seen either of these. So those are two more I wanted to get, at least to check out. But I'll probably end up keeping them. I'm a big fan of Stallone. And now that we're getting into Blu-rays, here's two more Stallone movies. So I picked up Tango and Cash. I had this on a multiple set with Demolition Man and some other, I think, what was the one with Sharon Stone? Ooh, The Specialist. That was on there. I don't really like that one. That's one that I'd seen, and I don't need to see that again. Assassins was great. But yeah, Tango and Cash, really love this movie. Taking full advantage of the whole buddy cop sort of deal, but with bigger stars from the time, and and it's just more outrageous and over the top and bigger action. It's definitely in the vein of something like Lethal Weapon, but it's just blown way out of it's. Lethal Weapon's a little bit more grounded. This one's a little bit more like an action movie. So anyways, so yeah, I haven't got around to checking out the transfer. I've seen this movie a few times though over the years on DVD and even VHS probably. So I haven't got around to rewatching this yet, but I love it. It's very funny and cheesy. And Joel Silver, I believe, had a hand in this movie. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Actually, I think I am wrong about that. Huh. But yeah, anyways, Tango and Cash. Good one. I like that movie. Kurt Russell's funny in it. Stallone's great, and they're very different characters, and they collide in funny ways. So I also picked up Cliffhanger. This movie is fun. I don't care. To me, it's just a fun action movie. It's just stupid and talk about over the top. The biggest problem with this movie, if you want to call it a problem, because it's still entertaining, just because of how bad it is the dialogue and just some of the things that they say. Oh, you're still out there on that cliff. It's just so ridiculous and over the top. But yeah, this I did watch right away as soon as I got it in the mail. I got it for a really good price. I think it was $10.99. So yeah, I was gonna say under 10, but no, I think it was $10.99. So yeah, John Lithgow's hilarious. I don't know what kind of fucking accent he's trying to pull off, but it's funny. Michael Rooker is great in this movie, as always. Who else? Janine Turner, Ralph Waite. I never heard of either of those, but I'm sure I know who they are in the movie if see their face. But yeah, it's just I don't need to tell you the plot of this movie, do I? Well, he's like a guy who goes out there when people are out climbing mountains. He's an expert, and when people are in trouble, he goes out and helps them. And early in the movie, something goes wrong, and he's all fucked up in the head about it, like this incident that happened. So he's gonna leave this life behind, and then he comes back for this girl, and he ends up getting drawn back into it. And then there's this whole other fucking ridiculous story about, weapons and money. And I think, it's all about getting all this money from a crazy plane heist. So, yeah, it's a Cliffhanger. It's a fun action movie. It's nothing more than that. And, yeah, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's fun. And I've always liked it. Here is Orgazmo. I've been trying to get a copy of this on Blu-ray for a while. Just because it's great. This funny ass movie. I don't need to tell you about this movie much. It's from the guys who make South Park, and it's amazing. It's super funny. It's all over. It's crude humor, so it might not be funny to everybody, but it's very crude South Park sort of humor. Very sexualized in this one, and yeah, it's just got lots of special features. Carries everything over from the DVD, which is great, including a drunken commentary with Matt Stone and Trey Parker, which is very cool. You got a wild commentary with the writing staff of South Park. You also get Weird Al and Kevin Smith popping in on that commentary, so that's cool, and a crazy cast commentary. Now, keep in mind, when you watch, I'm pretty sure all the commentaries, they only apply to the normal theatrical version of the movie. The unrated one, I tried and I couldn't figure it out, and then I realized, well, maybe it's on the theatrical, and it was. So yeah, it's got tons of special features, hours and hours. So Orgazmo, fucking funny movie. It looks actually really good on Blu-ray, so they did a good job. Universal released this, and I'm very happy that they're releasing Basketball, because that is my favorite South Park movie, even though they didn't actually direct it themselves. That's a Zuckerberg or Zucker. I can't remember. It's one of those. They made the Basketball, but they just used them perfect. I think they were so funny in that movie. I love that movie. Can't wait to get it on Blu-ray. But this is my second favorite one. Then World. What is that one called? Team America, World Police. So yeah, Orgazmo. I got it for a good price too, so because I couldn't find it for a decent one, but I found it new on an Amazon seller for a good price. But the normal price on the Amazon was a little much for me. Anyways, moving on. Picked up Conspiracy Theory. This is a movie I've been wanting to get on Blu-ray or anything for a while now, because I want every Mel Gibson movie. He's awesome to me. And this is one I just never see. I know it's not that rare or anything. I just never see it. So I went on Amazon, and it was actually a good price. So I think it was $10 again. And yeah, this is a cool movie. I think it was a little ahead of its time, especially with its topic, the subject matter. Especially, it reminds me of something like an Alex Jones or the conspiracy, the Illuminati projects and stuff like that. which is cool. I find that stuff interesting. But I think when this movie came out, that wasn't as widely known, so the audience. I don't know if this movie did well or not, but I always feel like this movie's like underappreciated or not really talked about a lot. It's really good. It's a Richard Donner film. It's obviously Mel Gibson, and it's got Julia Roberts, who is really good in it as well, but also what is his name? Patrick Stewart. How could I forget that? It's the captain. I just think immediately of Picard. But this is a really cool movie. To sum it up briefly without spoiling anything, Mel Gibson's kind of like this dude who is super into conspiracies, a taxi driver by night, and he's a conspiracy theory magazine writer, which with little to no readers, and he just writes about all these things he thinks are out there. So and then something happens. I don't want to spoil it. Something occurs that maybe proves that perhaps he's on to something, and before long, him and Julia Roberts, through some other, situations, end up entrapped in the and Patrick Stewart's the bad guy in this movie, so he's really good in it, and they're kind of like this cat and mouse game, and you never know what's exactly going on. And then there's like a couple twists in the third act that are very interesting as well. But yeah, that's Conspiracy Theory. Great movie. I like it. It's over 2 hours. It's 135 minutes, so it's a little long, but it's good. It's not something you're going to watch all the time, but if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. This one is a Joel Silver and Richard Donner collab, so yeah, Conspiracy Theory. Check that movie out if you have not. I've always enjoyed it. Hadn't seen it in a while because I've been having a hard time finding it, but I really did enjoy the rewatch, and it looks great on Blu-ray. Another movie I picked up just to upgrade is American Gangster. So yeah, just like Orgazmo and Tango and Cash, this is just strictly an upgrade. I got it pretty cheap, and yeah, I love this movie. I rewatched it just like 2 nights ago, and I think to me, it's an underappreciated gangster film that not a lot of people talk about when that sort of subject comes up, but it's freaking awesome. Denzel Washington is amazing as Frank Lucas, I believe is his name. Yeah, and it's just so good. It's about this student, and he just sees the whole drug trade differently, and he just wants to cut out the middleman, and before long he does that and ends up going against the top drug people in the city and going right up against them, cheaper the price, 10 times the quality, and fucking before long he's got an empire. He invites his whole family up, and while that's all going on, Russell Crowe is a very straight-laced investigator, and he's just he ends up in the lead on a task force trying to get the war on drugs with Reagan and all the, or not Reagan, Nixon. So like he's just dedicated himself to catching who this is, and it takes him forever to even figure out who even is Frank Lucas, because he's just so well at being an American gangster, and he just does such a good job at it, and he just makes a lot of smart moves, but it only takes a few mistakes, and as you'll see in this movie, things play out as usual for people in this sort of work. So it's a very good movie. I definitely recommend checking it out. The extended cut is 3 hours long, but the normal theatrical is 2 hours and 40. But honestly, I would recommend the extended cut. I think it's actually really, really, really good. When you watch a gangster movie, you kind of expect a long runtime. It also has tons of special features, just documentaries out the wazoo. So yeah, that's American Gangster. Love this movie. Been wanting to get it on Blu-ray forever now, so I'm happy to finally have done that. Moving along. Hostage. This is a cool movie. Again, just upgrading it. I've had it on DVD for a long time, and I've wanted to upgrade it to Blu-ray, and I finally have. This is a really cool movie. What's it say on the back? Die Hard meets Panic Room, and it's kick-ass. So yeah, that's a pretty good description. It's just about this guy who's like a hostage negotiator, played by Bruce Willis, and early in the movie, just like something like Cliffhanger, something traumatic happens while he's on the job, and he's wanted to get away from it, but I believe he gets drawn back in sometime after that event. It's been a while since I've seen this, and I haven't watched it yet on Blu-ray. I definitely want to get to it soon, since I, you know, spent the money and upgraded. So I definitely, when I always upgrade, I definitely want to watch them right away. I don't just upgrade them to have them on Blu-ray. If I'm going to spend the money to get them on Blu-ray, I might as well watch them, again. So that's why some of the movies I don't have on Blu-ray, because I just don't rewatch them enough, and I don't feel the need to rewatch it anytime soon. So when I do, I'll, look into upgrading. Anyways, mini tangent over. This movie here is pretty cool. Ben Foster's great in this movie. That's what I remember the most. He is in the second part with this, this new hostage negotiation where he's brought back into it. He is one of the main bad guys or whatever who's taken this family hostage. Kevin Pollak is the father, I believe. It's been a while, like I'm saying. And I just remember this being a really fun movie. I remember it being well acted and great. The director does not look familiar, or really any of the producers other than Bruce Willis. So, yeah. If you haven't seen this, I'm going only by memory here, but I remember it being a great film. So, check it out if you have not. And I don't think it's going to be one of those times where, my memory fails me. I believe I've watched it a few times, and I remember it always being a good watch. So I got 2 seasons here on Blu-ray that I've been waiting eagerly for. One I didn't even know was coming out. They both came out the same day. It's a little expensive day for new releases. I think something else came out. Yeah, something else that you'll see also came out that day. But anyways, yeah, it was like $100 day, which I don't often like doing, new release days. I very picky with those. Try and catch them later cheaper. But anyways, moving along, I got Daredevil Season 2. Wasn't even aware that this was coming out on Blu-ray, because I heard it was coming out on DVD, and at my local Walmart, they had like 10 copies on DVD at the front kiosk with, yes, I'll say, spoiler, I also picked up Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It had a big Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 kiosk, and this was in it, but only on DVD. Jessica Jones only on DVD, which was stupid. I'm pretty sure both of them are released on Blu-ray, but when I went into like the back where the movies are and stuff, they had 1 copy on Blu-ray, and I went early that morning, so I don't know if they had a couple and they sold out that quick, or if they got 1 copy of Blu-ray, which would not surprise me, because that store is stupid. The artwork is very different. The artwork for the DVD is more just like an actual picture or a still shot from the show, whereas this is obviously, as you can see, it's signed there. It's actually like commissioned artwork, which is very cool. But yeah, I loved Season 2 of Daredevil. I think, I can never remember the guy's name. This dude right here, let's get him. Shane from Walking Dead. I thought he was the standout in this season as the Punisher. He is the best Punisher I think we've ever seen. Excellent. The season itself was great. I love the Punisher storyline, the Elektra storyline. I also liked how Fisk came back there, the Kingpin. It was really cool, and his interaction with the Punisher was fantastic. The spiral staircase scene and like all the fight scenes in this season were fantastic. I think the first season moved a little better, the pacing especially, and some of the fight scenes. But that being said, I love this season, and I put it right beside almost as good as the first season, sort of deal. But I love them both. I hope they continue with the Daredevil, and I know Punisher's getting a show, so that's going to be awesome. I liked Jessica Jones Season 1. I thought it was pretty good, especially the bad guy and that whole story between them and how it was a take on abuse and stuff like that. I just thought that was like really well done. And the bad guy in Jessica Jones, I cannot remember the name of him for the life of me. He's always wearing purple, but he could like use his mind, and he was just super evil about it. And I thought he was that's where the invasion came in, because he used his mind on Jessica and other people to just do whatever he wanted, and they became essentially like a victim of, like, they were held against their will, and it's metaphorical for like rape and stuff of the mind and body. So I just thought that part of the Jessica Jones was a lot more deep and thought-provoking than I expected it to be, like Jessica Jones. And I liked her character as well. I thought she had a good balance of that bitchiness she's always had in all her movies, really, in the shows. But a perfect balance of that, and then the vulnerability of her being a person and as a new superhero. So I thought Jessica Jones was also good. I thought freaking Luke Cage was amazing. I loved that show. It's probably my second favorite to Daredevil until Punisher comes out. But I loved Luke Cage. I loved how every episode was named after Gangster song. I thought that was cool as shit. The soundtrack, the storyline, that hip hop urban setting. I thought everything about it was great. I loved his sidekick there. What was her name? Missy? No, that's not right. The girl with the afro. She was very cool. So I loved Luke Cage. That and the bad guy in that was great as well. The Iron Fist, though, I was very excited. I tried to get into it. I just don't like the guy who plays Iron Fist, and I think the whole freaking thing's stupid, to be honest. I don't like the shamball or whatever. It's just all like, I don't know. I liked his, like, the love interest in Iron Fist better than Iron Fist. So, yeah, didn't like Iron Fist, and that's bleeding into the Defenders. I'm trying to watch that, but I'm very, which is a bad sign, because when this came out, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, when that came out, I would watch this in like a week and a half. Defenders, I'm having a hard time with it, and Iron Fist took me a while to get through as well. Defenders is just very slow, and every time Iron Fist gets involved, I'm like, fuck, I just want to watch Daredevil. Like, I don't know. But, so, I hope that I can, I'm probably just going to take a break with Defenders, and just kind of wait, and then I'm just going to finish up some other stuff I'm watching, and then try it again, and power through, because I really want to see how it all comes together, and, yeah, so that's enough talk about, the Netflix, Marvel shows, but I do love them all, except for Iron Fist, and I'm not loving Defenders so much, right now, but I hope it does get better, because, I like the idea, like 3 out of 4 characters that I just really like ain't bad, plus the side characters and all that, but anyways, moving along. Ash vs. Evil Dead. I ordered this online. It was taking a while. I don't know why. And then my store, that same store that gets 1 copy of Daredevil on Blu-ray, has like 9 copies of this on Blu-ray. So and they have like 3 on DVD. So I don't understand the logic at this Walmart. But whatever. So I canceled the order online that I had because it was just taking a while. It hadn't even shipped or no sort of delivery estimate, so I just canceled it and I went right to the Walmart and picked it up. So love season 1 of Ash versus Evil Dead. I need a drink, sorry. Glory, gory, hallelujah. I love the first season and I love the second season. I really did. I thought it was great. My favorite part of this season is when the car becomes possessed. Spoiler alert. I won't say anything other than it's fucking awesome. Everything about it is awesome. I love that part. And I just love how the season starts. It's great how it ends. The new characters that get introduced are very cool. And yeah, it flies by this season, just like the first season, and it's just as great. Because I talked about Marvel so long, I'm going to cut this short for Ash vs. Evil Dead. But it's great, and I can't wait for Season 3, which must be starting soon, just like they always have in October. So yeah, great show. I love Season 2. Can't wait for Season 3. Love it. Okay, so I got 4 new releases, and then 3... Shout Factory, Scream Factory, Shout Select titles. Well, actually 4, but one's a new release. Whatever. I'm gonna ration all that. But I'll show you the new releases last, and I will show you what I got from Shout Factory. So right away, I picked up, and this I've got pretty early. I don't think it comes out until because they do that if you order directly from their site. It's really cool how it works out. They'll send it to you 2 weeks early, and a lot of the times you'll get a poster. I didn't get one for this. I don't think there is one. I'm not sure, but this is Mr. Mom, and this is a really good movie. I'd never seen it before. When I looked into it, I was surprised to find it was written by John Hughes. I didn't I never even knew about this movie. So, as always with that, when you get a slipcover on these Shout Select, you also get the reverse wrap artwork. So that's very cool, Mr. Mom. And this movie's very cool. It's about this man here, played by Michael Keaton. He's got a family, and he's like a successful, businessman. He ends up losing his job pretty much right away in the movie, pretty unfairly and unjustified, but whatever. That's that's what it was at that time. I think the documentaries, which you get lots of, it only says a look back with certain people from the thing, but it's pretty comprehensive. It's a good little chunk of special features there. So yeah, he ends up having to go home, and he doesn't have a job anymore. He's unemployed, and he's having a hard time even finding anything. So his wife ends up going back to work, and she has a pretty good run at it. She seems to be having an easier time with getting a job. She has a job, and they sort of switch roles, and it's funny to see how they play off each other. Michael Keaton is great in this. He ends up at one point, spoiler alert, he ends up like kind of going a little crazy. He starts growing a beard. And he starts having all these weird fantasies about things that could happen, and yeah, it's really funny. I like this movie quite a bit. It's not directed by John Hughes. As you can see, it is directed by Stan Dragotti, but it's written by John Hughes, executive produced by Aaron Spelling, but it's written by John Hughes, and it definitely feels that way. Terry Garr is also really good in this movie. I really liked everybody in it. I thought it was a really fun sort of 80s comedy, and but it doesn't necessarily feel 80s. It feels like this could relate to anybody. So when I got this, I was very happy, because I didn't even know that this was a John Hughes movie that I need to get on seeing, and I'm happy to have it in my John Hughes section of my collection. So, moving along, the next two are the Scream Factory, I think. Well, this one here, I'm not sure. Yeah, it is a Scream Factory, but it's one of their new special limited edition steelbooks. Now, I guess I might as well. I was not going to take this out of this little sleeve thing here. If you're looking for these plastic sleeves, they're a little expensive, but you can find them on usually eBay, and I'm pretty sure eBay. They're called Retro Protection. If you get the PS3 Blu-ray Steelbook sleeve protectors, I think that's what they're called. They're really good. They keep them... I think the best part is they keep them from scuffing. And if you're going to drop this, I think it might still dent, but first off, it's going to have less of a chance than that, but it's also going to help from any scratching, especially going in and out of the shelves. But anyways, let me just show you quickly. I don't really want to take forever to do this, but here's the back. It's very glossy. See, fingerprints galore. But yeah, I like the design, and I love this movie. I'm not going to talk too much about They Live. You know They Live, and if you don't, go watch a trailer for it or something. Very cool, awesome John Carpenter movie. I was very surprised that they're doing these steelbooks, especially for movies that they've already released, at least right away. So I was very surprised with that. But I like the John Carpenter ones. This is the only one that really I desperately was like, that one looks cool. I really want it. The Fog's pretty cool. I did not even like the Escape from New York, but here, let me show you. So there's the front. There's the back. It's got disc art. There's nothing behind it, but as you can see, it is different than the actual original Scream Factory release, which I have. But I like this. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum. Love that part. So yeah, this is a great movie. But it is just the original release from what I can tell. There's no difference, special features wise or anything. It's all just about the packaging, and I think they did a good job with that. So that's They Live. Definitely, if you've not seen this movie, if you're a fan of John Carpenter or not, this is definitely something. And I believe the character from Conspiracy Theory probably watched this a few times. So yeah, They Live. We also have here, I only picked up the first one because I don't like the second one. I've seen it before. Jason Bateman didn't like it. But that is Teen Wolf here. The original with Michael J. Fox. I actually do like this movie. I think it's definitely cheesy and over the top. but it's very 80s. It's a snapshot, and Michael J. Fox really does carry this movie. Don't need to talk too much about it. It's a kid in high school. He's on the basketball team. He's kind of like, I wouldn't say a loser, but he just kind of like doesn't stand out and doesn't really get looked at all by anybody. And he ends up and then things start happening to him. He starts like growing hair on his hands, and he ends up finding out, spoiler, maybe, that he's a werewolf, and that his, he's. You know what's weird about this movie is, like, when he reveals himself to people that he's a wolf, people really aren't that surprised. Like, they're like, well, they are, but they're just like, that's really cool. Like, they don't even get, like, creeped out, and he's not, like, biting people or anything. So, it's an interesting kind of comic book sort of version, but it's also very fun 80s comedy. This was shot before Back to the Future, but they smartly waited till Back to the Future came out and then released it. So, I think a lot of people know about this movie. It did well in the theater. It's definitely spawned a sequel with Jason Bateman. Like I said, they did release a Scream Fact. Did I show the interior artwork? That's very cool as well. So yeah, I don't want to take it all the way off, but... And then, the disc artwork's pretty cool as well. It's just got a lot of the characters. But yeah, this is a fun movie. It's a nice fast watch as well. It's only 90 minutes, so tons of documentaries on it though. Holy crapes. Just tons. New 2K scan, Never Say Die, the story of Teen Wolf, a comprehensive documentary, and boy oh boy is it comprehensive. I'm pretty sure it's as long as the goddamn movie. I'm pretty sure. And I think I watched it all, so I was definitely in and out, but it is good. I like this. It's fun. It's 80s. Definitely check it out. And Michael J. Fox is great in it. He carries this movie. So, yeah, it's Teen Wolf. This movie is a Shout Factory release, but it's also like a new release movie that is just coming out for the first time, and I was happy to get it for a pretty good deal as well. Like, it was an import to Canada, so usually that means it's going to be more expensive, but I ended up only getting it for about $20, I'm pretty sure, and that is Bryan Cranston starring in Wakefield. This is a freaking fantastic movie that Cranston carries big time. Also starring Jennifer Garner and some other people as well. But basically, this movie, Bryan Cranston plays this like successful businessman. He's never really truly been happy in his life, and he plays weird games with his wife, and he's just an odd duck. And you find out a lot of these things about him, and about, his life and how he feels about a lot of things, because just one day randomly he just decides to he ends up spending the night kind of accidentally outside in his attic, and he just seems to not be able to leave when anybody's around, so he ends up staying in the attic, and people start like his wife starts like calling the cops and thinking he's missing, and no one apparently seems to look up in the attic, which is, it's fine to suspend the disbelief. And as he's up there, he starts kind of introspectively looking and narrating for us into his life, about things with his wife, about how he feels about his job, about how he feels about being a man and being, alive, and what he actually wants in life. It's really good. And like just his performance, Cranston's performance throughout as the movie progresses, just watching him shift and change, and you understand him more and more, and by the end it's just so freaking awesome. I loved how it ended. I could easily see people not liking the ending, but I liked it. I thought it was fantastic. Loved every bit of this movie. Cranston definitely, as it says right here, an award caliber performance. If he doesn't get any sort of recognition for this movie, I don't get it, because he is fantastic in it. So if you have not seen Wakefield, definitely check it out. It is a Shout Factory release, but they just released it, which is good, because they released it in very nice packaging. I don't believe it has no, it's just got some interior art. Comes with the DVD, the Blu-ray, and then it's not worth taking the discs out. But yeah, great movie. I've seen it twice now. I recommend, if you do watch it and you have any sort of like, whoa, what was that about? Watch it again. and it's fantastic, amazing. One of my favorite movies of this year, easily. So yeah, I got three. I might as well show you this because I definitely did a spoiler for it. But that is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Love this movie. There are quite a few different versions of this. I hated the Walmart exclusive one with the stupid cards that it was just Rocket and Groot on the front. Like, oh, this cover is perfect. Like, why would I even bother? Like, even the Steelbook didn't look that great to me. I just like the normal slipcover version. It was great. I love this movie. I think it's just as good as the original one. It's just fucking fantastic. It definitely feels different than the original one, which is really cool. But at the same time, feels like an extension of that first one, but it definitely feels like that first one, which is great and exactly what you want. All the characters are great. The action is awesome. The special effects are amazing. The humor's there. This is just amazing. I loved every bit of this movie. And I love the first one. I can't wait to see them in the Avengers Affinity Wars. So that'll be cool. And I just can't. I hope they make a third one, and James Gunn's involved and everybody. So, and boy, does this look good on Blu-ray. And I'm pretty sure this is like the first Marvel movie, pretty sure, to come out on 4K. So I was thinking about it, but it was a little expensive, and this came out, Daredevil, Ash vs. Evil Dead, all at once. So yeah, but yeah, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. Awesome movie, definitely. And I love Kurt Russell's character in this. Ego, he is so freaking perfectly cast. Loved it. Definitely check out Guardians of the Galaxy 2 if you have not. So pick this up. I didn't know anything about this movie. I walked past it like 4 times. It's in the kind of like the new releases that not everybody's really like you never even hear a lot of these new releases that I see every week. But this one I just kind of kept grabbing my eye, and then when I looked at it, I'm like, produces The Martian. I looked and it's Ridley Scott. When I come to find out that this is a really cool like found footage movie, which I know a lot of people immediately like fuck that, but this is really well done, and the footage is so well done that you may even it may even come across that you'd be like, wow, is that real? Because it's based on the Phoenix Lights incident. But what ends up happening is one of the kids who was out there that night taping, he ends up just kind of getting obsessed with it. He takes his friends on this journey to find out what is this. And while they're out, the tape that is being examined by this documentarian, the sister of the main character, the boy. I can't remember his name, but it's just cool. She's going through it. She finds more footage as the movie goes along, and like I said, the footage looks so well done at times that you kind of like switch off that it's like a fake thing, even though you know you're watching a movie, but it's just so well done. And what you see at the end of this movie in particular is it's really cool. I love how it all plays out. Don't want to spoil anything. I will just say, if you see this movie anywhere and you're into like alien abduction, alien movies, or UFO sort of shit, and trust me when I say found footage is not really a bad thing in this movie. It does shake sometimes, but it's done well. So I know some people get sick from that sort of thing, but I think it's done really good in this. If you like all those things, check this movie out. I'm telling you, it's great. I had a great time with it. It's not like something that's gonna blow your mind, but it's just a really well done little alien movie that was like pretty trippy and cool. So the last film in this collection update is Alien Covenant. Now this movie seems to have quite a bad reception. I hear some people say they like it. A lot of people are saying they didn't enjoy it. And I watched the Red Letter Media thing about like how this movie's dumb a lot of the times, and wow, they had a lot of points. All that being said, I still enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of good time with this. I watched it twice since I got on Blu-ray. I didn't go to the theater or anything, but since I've gotten it on Blu-ray, I've watched it twice, and I really do enjoy it. I think it's a really cool connector from Prometheus, especially with the David character, because I think he's awesome in this movie. I love him and Walter in this. They're both androids, same model, design, but different software. Let's say that. But yeah, it's a cool connection from Prometheus, and leading up to Alien, you kind of see where this alien, a xenomorph, comes from, and the neomorph, and how it's been designed. And yeah, I don't want to say too much, because in case you really haven't seen this and you actually really care about the story, it's really cool. I enjoy how it played out. I don't care if some of it's dumb. Michael Fassbender's great in it. The main character here, the new Ripley sort of character, she was excellent to me. I really had a good time watching her kick some ass, especially when the part where she's like hanging from the ship and she's like swinging under, shooting at the alien. It's like fucking badass. But I think the alien, even though primarily it's CG, it looks fantastic. So yeah, I really enjoy this movie. If you haven't seen it and you like the Alien series, definitely check it out. It's Ridley Scott coming back, and apparently he intends to make 2 more. So yeah, whatever. I think maybe 1 more is more adequate. I don't know if he needs to make 2 more, but oh, leading up to the original Alien, if it's anything like this, I'll be down, because I definitely enjoyed this movie, regardless of all its problems, and it just was stupid sci-fi fun to me, and action, and the aliens kick ass, and I liked a lot of the characters. Danny McBride, I don't know if I mentioned that already. He is good in this movie. His acting is more like, dramatic, and he does a good job. I was very surprised. So yeah, that is everything in this update here. So yeah, let me just scan over this one more time. So yeah, there it all is. That's everything I picked up there. If there's anything here that you're interested in, or you have anything to say about, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Like this video and subscribe if you like. And yeah, hopefully you'll have something to say about any of these titles. So yeah, until the next time, as always, be easy and chew bubblegum. Kick ass.